Number one, see, we have a president now who's saying that this economy needs saving, and we do agree. It does. Because today, we are celebrating the shilling coming down by around 6.7% to 120 shillings. So we are celebrating 120 shillings. That's how bad things are locally. But once we agree that, then there are other things that keep on taking coffers money that you think, well, maybe they need to be solved. Let me ask you, could you name 10 government-owned businesses that are profit-making? In fact, on this program, we could take a break completely. And there are many, but we will take a break for you to start from whatever sector that you want, from whatever industry that you want, and name 10. In fact, let's not do 10. Let's do 5 that are profit-making. The only thing you're going to name is how government businesses are failing in the face of Kenyans. I'll make majority of you angry to tell you, number one, KQ, loss-making, and not in millions, billions. Not 1 billion, could be 50 billion plus. That's how much we give them, free money. And they'll come back again and ask for money. SGR, not profit-making, might be worse in the short term to medium term. Sugar factories in the country, none. Even the one that we're trying to revive now, Mumia Sugar, still loss-making. The question is then, as we start to look at business today, should the government, and most importantly, because there are 2 headlines that I'm about to read to you now that might form just how the country is going to be run by President Ruto, should the government be in the business of business? Now, let's interrogate that. See, Telkom Kenya was not fully government-owned. It wasn't. I mean, up to September, during that period when President Ruto was going to get sworn in, if you remember September, was it? But just on that particular week, all of a sudden, now, Telkom Kenya, as it stands, it is fully government-owned. Because Treasury did go out and buy a 60% stake in Telkom Kenya from UK-based private equity fund, Helios Investment Partners, at 6.09 billion, which means the government is now, that particular company is fully government-owned. 60%. We do know the percentages of majority shareholding. So there's 100% then a Kenyan company by the Kenyan government. But why? Why? Because we were getting ready for a Telkom IPO. In fact, if we go back again, we were talking about a merger between Telkom and Airtel. So you don't know exactly how this is going to go. It is going to go downwards because the numbers here are not very good for Telkom. Because let's see, the mobile subscribers dropped from 4.23 million users in 2019 to 3.42 million users in June this year, representing 19.1% fall in a period when its rivals Airtel and Safaricom have gained customers. So a company is falling and you decide, let's push it to the government again. A government that cannot even protect monopoly companies like Kenya Power and Lighting Company, KPLC. So Telkom now, again, is now in the bandwagon of the likes of KQ, loss-making, KPLC. It's now that they're trying to negotiate themselves out of a loss-making journey that they've been in for quite some time now. And let me not say, the rest of them are already looking south. The Kenya Revenue Authority has announced that fuel will be exempt from plant inflation, that is excise duty, that was slated for 1st October. KRA Commissioner General John Mburu, while speaking after the official opening of the Taxpayers Month, indicated that the prices of basic commodities will go up due to the authority proceeding with the implementation of inflation-adjusted tax, with only petroleum products being exempted. Ian Kitani files the following report.
KRA Commissioner General John Mburu has announced that the prices of various basic commodities and consumables are set to go up after the implementation of the inflation-adjusted tax.
From where we stand as KRA, we have given the leave of notice for publication. If it was not published on Friday, then I would expect it maybe it was done over the weekend or even today. It will affect accessible products other than petroleum products. So all the other accessible products, we will make that adjustment.
However, Mburu indicated the petroleum products will be exempted from the tax as the prices of the products are already high in a need to cushion consumers.
The only category we are going to leave out are petroleum products because of the currently very high prices of fuel. So we want to support Kenyans in ensuring that that price of fuel doesn't go higher. But for the other products, we have made that adjustment. It is by a requirement of the law. So we expect that Kenyans will comply.
Speaking to the press after officially opening the Taxpayers Month, Mburu lauded Kenyans for paying the taxes diligently, adding that a small percentage of Kenyans who do not pay taxes will be educated on the importance of tax compliance, with the KRA Chairman Ambassador Francis Modhoura indicating the Commission's willingness to change its name as directed by President William Ruto, urging Kenyans to pay taxes as it is their constitutional duty.
First, let me thank all our esteemed taxpayers. This is their month. During this month, we celebrate them for being diligent in payment of taxes. Paying taxes is not easy, but we have citizens of this country who are very diligent and honest in paying their taxes. Like I said earlier, about 90% of our taxes come through voluntary compliance. Those are people who we don't need to go for. They know their obligations, they come forward and pay their taxes. In agreement fully with the new administration that taxes must be collected and taxes must be paid by all Kenyans. Everyone must pay what they owe. We have further agreed that for those taxpayers experiencing difficulties, we will have to adopt a different approach so that we encourage them and we walk the journey with them, because some of them, they are going through genuine difficulties.
The transformation of KRA from the authority to a service, a program that is really being driven now by the current government. I think it's a very good policy initiative. We support that very, very, very strongly, knowing that every Kenyan, every citizen has an obligation to pay taxes. Taxes is a responsibility. There is no way we can grow our country. There is no way the government can provide services without getting sufficient tax resources.
Ian Kitani, Lookuptv.
The government has lifted its ban on genetically modified crops after 10 years suspension. This therefore means that farmers will be allowed to cultivate and import food crops and animal feeds produced through biotechnology.
While meeting members of the cabinet at State House Nairobi, President William Ruto has today lifted the ban on genetically modified crops in the country. The decision, according to the dispatch from the cabinet, was reached in accordance with the recommendations of the task force to review matters relating to genetically modified foods and food safety, and in fidelity with the guidelines of the National Biosafety Authority on all applicable international treaties, including Cartagena Protocol on Biosafety. The cabinet vacated its earlier decision of 8 November 2012 prohibiting the open cultivation of genetically modified crops and the importation of food crops and animal feeds produced through biotechnology innovations, effectively lifting the ban on genetically modified crops by dint of the executive action. Open cultivation and importation of white GMO is now authorized. Today's decision follows an earlier cabinet decision made on December 19, 2019 regarding the commercialization of BT, cotton hybrids in Kenya, which is a genetically enhanced variety of cotton that is resistant against African bollworm, the most destructive and pervasive pest in cotton farming. Cabinet's office further noted earlier approval sought to revamp production of textiles, apparel, feed and oil industries towards the realization of the industrialization, and today's cabinet decision builds on it and also extends its benefit to other agricultural and manufacturing sectors.
President William Ruto has announced a mortgage payment scheme that will be applied to allow Kenyans to own homes through the Mukuru social housing program. Speaking while unveiling of the program, President Ruto said those in bedsitters will pay a mortgage of 3,000 shillings, while those in one-bedroom houses will pay 5,000 shillings. Shadrach Kareria with that story.
All those who came here, we'd like to say thank you very much for taking time under very short notice.
During his first government project to preside over as the head of state, President William Ruto spearheaded the groundbreaking of the affordable household at Mukuru kwa Ruben in Nairobi County.
The various financial institutions, Excellency, they are working with us on this journey. Asanteni sana.
It is during the event that the head of state delivered good news to the residents of Mukuru kwa Ruben slums, stating that the housing project, once complete, will benefit the residents, as they will only be required to pay a mortgage of 3,000 shillings.
So this project, the first priority of this project is to get the people living in Mukuru to come and live here. The 3,000 shillings they are paying rent there, they will come and pay 3,000 here mortgage.
In order to push for his housing agenda, Ruto asked the Member of Parliament to allocate more funds to cater for the project.
I want to ask my good members of Parliament, it is the opportunity. In fact, the Housing Fund will give the government of Kenya the leverage to make sure that we can raise the money to provide mortgage for the ordinary people in Mukuru and every other part of Kenya to own a home. Please, good people, it's not too much to ask from those hustlers. It is not too much to ask. Now, waomba waheshimiwa, tafadhali.
Earlier, Ruto held a cabinet meeting with cabinet secretaries who served under the retired President Uhuru Kenyatta at the State House of Nairobi, as he awaits the approval of his cabinet nominees by the Parliament.
Thank you very much.
Shadrach Kareria, Lookuptv.
Deputy President Rigathi Gachagwa's comments on Citizen TV that the Central Bank of Kenya had no control of Kenya's forex reserves have prompted a reaction from the Central Bank. In a public notice directed to the Deputy President, the CBK has sought to make clear what they termed as the wrong picture painted by the Deputy President about Kenya's forex position.
In a wide-ranging interview with one of the local TV stations, Gachagua blamed the CBK for letting the forex position of the country fall below the low requirements of 4 months imports cover, a situation he said led to the oil importers lacking enough dollars to import the commodity into the country, leading to the biting shortage the country experienced earlier this year. This, he claimed, was a result of state capture, continuing with his campaign song that Kenya needed to root out individuals who only benefited themselves through government dealings. The central bank, however, is not happy. They have come out to strongly defend their position over the oil situation in the country by saying they have nothing to do with it. In a press statement through their official Twitter handle, CBK have indicated that even as a section of Kenyans have been complaining about the forex situation in the country, they have always endeavored to keep forex cover to the required 4+ months, going further to clarify that as of September 26, 2022, Kenya enjoyed a healthy 4.64 months worth of import cover.
The CBK further indicated that they are well guided by both EAC and IMF laws of operation, which are under constant scrutiny, adding that the Apex Bank will continue to provide proper cover to the shocks in the foreign markets. Import cover has not been at healthy levels, though, as the cancellation of the $1 billion sovereign bond was cancelled in late July on the back of increased interest rates in the foreign market. Eurobond has been one of the biggest sources of dollars inflow into the country. In the financial year ended June, the Treasury missed the target for foreign loans and grants by 43.1%. This is after tapping in 239.61 billion shillings against a goal of 421.1 billion shillings. Gachagua has not been the only Kenya Kwanza leader who has been corrected by government officials after Nandi Senator Samson Cherargei was corrected by CS Treasury for claiming the government was broke.
Sometimes, not of course no senator, but in the public, we argue out of ignorance. Like now, immediately after election, some leaders were saying that, okay, they did not find the coffers were empty, the treasury did not have money, there was only 93 million shillings that was found there. And we find it very, really, I don't know whether to sympathize with the situation, because there's a lot of ignorance about it.
Edin John Mokora, Lookupbusiness.
We don't have 93 million shillings in the account.
As they're saying, it's a bit of ignorance. Not my words. The Pharmacy and Poison Board has warned Kenyans against the oral contraceptive pill named Sophia that is suspected to be in circulation in the Kenyan market. Sophia is a Chinese fertility pill that has made a secret comeback to the country despite being banned almost 10 years ago.
The Pharmacy and Poisons Board has said that the Sophia contraceptive pill is not registered by the board, even though it is still being sold in the Kenyan market. In a statement, the board said the pill is not authorized for use or distribution in Kenya. The statement reads, and I quote, "The Pharmacy and Poison Board, PPB, informs the public that the oral contraceptive pill named Sophia is not registered by PPB and therefore it is not authorized for use or distribution in Kenya. PPB confirms that the product is substandard and falsified and poses a great risk to health and safety of the public. PPB also warns the members of public against trading and distributing the pill, adding that it shall take stern legal and regulatory activities against perpetrators of such offences. The Ministry of Health banned the pill 10 years ago because of its dangerous side effects. The board said the aim of the move is to determine the source and implement legal and regulatory actions against individuals who may be handling or distributing the product. The PPB encourages members of public and healthcare providers to report all suspicious, substandard and falsified medical products to Pharmacy and Poisons Board. Lisa Minor, Lookuptv.
Lisa Minor. Investors in Watamu Resort in Kilifi County are organizing a grand festival on October 8th, 2022 to help revive the tourism industry, which they say was adversely affected by the COVID-19 pandemic, coupled with a difficult economic situation in the country in the last 3 years. Now, the Seven Islands Festival, which will be held for the 4th time at the Papa Remo Hotel in Watamu, will attract top artists in the country like Sauti Sol and other top DJs. Let's take a look at that.
This place is in Watamu. The name is Papa Remo. Actually, next week, 7 to 10 October, we are due at the best festival. We want to do that festival because that idea started 3 years ago, because there was a COVID, and then we want to do something to environment the tourism from the Kenyan people.
We are very proud to introduce this year this festival, because it will be the hugest on the coast of Kenya. We take for this festival two huge artists. One of them is Oxalate, is an international singer. The second is Bien, one of the best singer we have in Kenya, is part of on a huge group, and I think you know who they are. They are the Sauti Sol group. The last performer, the hugest from the portfolio we have next week is Vigradips, also a huge and very, very big DJ that will perform on Sunday for close the festival. We have a different ticket, a different entrance. Only Friday there will be 2,500. Only Saturday will be 5,000. But who will take one of the tickets or Friday or Saturday, they will have on Sunday the free entrance. But there is a package. If you will take Friday and Saturday, you will pay only 6.
Tweeted yesterday to some of you that our market has not reached that level where we react to news like Gachagwa's claim that the CBK had no control of our foreign exchange reserves. That should have done something in the market. Also, probably the CBK's reaction to that particular interview at a Citizen TV then sort of settled the market. Are we there yet? Talk to me at Lookuptv across all our social media platforms. Question being, is our market reactive? We've seen a couple headlines here and there. Talk to me. I'm at Kiage, Simba. All right, let's then look at where we are. We're not going to look for Gachagwa's comments reaction because we do know the Central Bank of Kenya did come and quell those claims about them not being in control of our forex reserves. But we do know 4.64. That's what we take home. All right, let's go back to how we ended yesterday or how we opened this morning and start by our top gainers list. And not so much of surprises there, but then as you're going to see from this particular list, Uchumi is back on it, BOC is back on it, and those are the ones that I want to talk about because the other ones have been there. Because if you look at that 80 shillings mark, that represents 3 shillings and 90 cents increase in the market as well. You talk about Uchumi, 25 cents. You can get that share, but that represents 4.17% increase. By the BOC has been oscillating between 80 shillings and 70 something shillings. They should be at around 83. This year we're sort of thinking they will jump up again and go up to around 90, but I don't think they will, because if you look at where they are, 80 shillings, that's exactly where they are, and that is a positive really. If you look at that particular stock, 3 shillings, 3.9%, sorry, increase from where they were the day before yesterday. Good. All right, let's talk about Uchumi. 25 shillings, 25 cents, not so much again. But that, on that particular stock, it represents 4.17% increase. Huge, really, showing you how that particular stock has not been performing good. Let's talk about the biggest losers then from yesterday. We're going to look at the top 5 in that particular list. And there have been some stocks that we've been following this week. Good. We do have APSA coming in again at 11. That again representing negative 3.06%. By the way, if you look at the way APSA has been running at the NSE this week from last week, again, that particular one, but representing 3.06% change is a big one because we've not been seeing majority of the banking quarters in the top losers list, other than NCBA that kept on appearing and reappearing and disappearing from this list because of what they decided during the market pay, that interim dividend. Unga Limited is back at it again, 29 shillings, representing negative 3.33%. But the Centum, but if you look at this particular one, it shows you exactly how the insurance stocks have been performing on the NSA now, because we do have Sanlam at negative 7.88, Centum 9.1%, and you can look at the difference between Sanlam and Centum in that particular drop. in as much as it's just a couple of cents in terms of where the share price standing is, then you will see that difference in percentage, negative 7.88 to negative 3.81 for Centum, showing you really that when it comes to the insurance, and we kept on saying this here on our Lookupbusiness, it's hot and cold. One is good, one is not good, really. All right, let's move on into the last list on that particular indicator, and that is top movers. Let's see then how it ended yesterday in terms of volume and subdued activity. Whoa, nobody touched the 1 million mark. Makes you ask the question, where did the money go? Because if you look at KCB, it comes in at 897,700. Again, KPLC still running 874,800. But then the difference between KCB and KPLC, not so much. And Safaricom there, and Equity again, not so much of a difference. I mean, Safaricom has been hitting a 1 million plus, and you can see exactly how the trading then ended yesterday, which will tell you that indeed, when it comes to money being in the market yesterday, we did experience that reduced trading. Makes you ask, where did the money go? Because Safaricom should be hitting 1 million plus in good days. I mean, the top one we've seen them hit is 13 million shares on a single trading. We've seen NCBA go to 12 million plus, sort of telling you where investors' minds are right now. The money has already been invested, or we've run out of it. So not so much of surprises in terms of the top movers list. By volumes, we've seen subdued activity again. And I do promise that every Monday here, we're going to talk about the markets and look at those particular stocks and ask ourselves the questions, where are the markets going? This news, the biggest one was Nairobi Business Ventures, then graduating from the GEMS market into the MEMS market on the NSE. Good for the market, but again, not so much graduations. Once we come
hapa ndio nimefika nyumba ya boxing.
Get a chance to wake up as a tourist as you view Mount Kenya every day by buying a plot of land at Wema Gardens, Naru Moru. At only 400 meters off tarmac, this is the right place to build your dream home, cottages or holiday homes. You can also buy this property to give to your children as a special inheritance. Water and electricity are in the vicinity, while neighbors are already building their homes. These plots are specially ready for you with title deeds scheduled to be out in 6 months. Buy a 50 by 100 plot of land at Wema Gardens for only 399,000 Kenya shillings. You can also pay for your plot through our friendly 1-year installments plan.
They're inspiring possibility.
Now, for those of us who pay tax, and I hope you do, it is Taxpayers Month, the entire of this month. So what KRA is doing, it is celebrating you for being a taxpayer. So yesterday, yes, we did officially start that Taxpayers Month. We did attend the event, and this is exactly what was going on. Now, KRA has already launched an online TV called KRA TV that is going to teach you to be tax literate, teach you how to pay tax and why you should not avoid tax. Now, according to the KRA Commissioner, Gideon Mburu, it should be targeting 6 million Kenyans in the tax bracket. That, whether it's going to meet it or not, we'll leave it to them. And another development you should know, they are working on renaming KRA into Kenya Revenue Services, which essentially they're saying would be softer, would invite majority of Kenyans not to look at KRA as an authority that is just pushing you to follow the law, that is paying tax, but a service that you give onto your country, which therefore brings us back to Kenya Revenue Services. The question being, are you paying tax? And do you think that renaming Kenya Revenue Authority into Kenya Revenue Services will make you pay tax? Lookuptv across all your social media platforms. I am at Kiage Simba. Let's watch that event. And later on, we have conversations with the chairman of KRA, that is Francis Mzaura, and the general commissioner, that is Gideon Mburu, as they take us through what the TV will do, why you need to pay tax, and how you should be celebrating this Taxpayers Month. I'll see you tomorrow.